All right,
Cool.
sweet man.
Yeah.
Um, well, welcome to Krusty's Attic, where the real scoop on music and life begins. I'm B Real, and today we've got Dylan Crawford, McCall's own acoustic guitar wizard, who's been tearing it up from the Oregon coast to Krusty's Pizza. His folk, blues, reggae vibes are pure gold. Dylan, stoked to have you here, man.
Thank you so much, man. I'm always stoked to be a part of anything at Krusty's, man. And I was trying to think about uh how long or how many years I've been playing at Krusty's. And I was trying to do some crunch some numbers earlier, but I think maybe I think it's been about 20 years or so since I've
Wow,
actually played
yeah.
music, but I've been watching music as a kid growing up at Krusty's before that. But yeah, since I played the first notes, I think we're approaching 20 years.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, we've been open 25 years
Yeah.
this year.
Oh, cool.
Uh, yeah, we've been doing these podcasts so people can get to know you guys a little bit better. I mean, we've got you playing this Friday,
Yeah.
and from 6 to 9 here at Krusty's. Kind of leading into that, so growing up in McCall, with the mountains, beautiful lakes around here, everything, all the nature we have is like, how did that spark your guitar obsession as a kid, and do those early days still shape your songwriting?
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And it's funny, like sometimes you have to have other people point certain things out to you, things that you do that you don't notice that much because you do them all the time. But like I had a friend listening to the new album. Massive Delicious is my band, so I'll be promoting some of that stuff when I'm and playing a lot of that music when I'm up at Krusty's on Friday. But he was noticing that all of like 98% of my songs on the album have like nature involved in them, you know? And I didn't even really think about it, but I was like, wow. And now that he pointed that out, I hear it like in like every one of my tunes. And I was really inspired creatively just by like like we'd hike up to Sargent's, and do a little backcountry stuff next to Brundage Mountain, or we'd be up in the summertime looking over at the peaks and looking at how vast it goes on. And I was just super inspired by the vastness and the just the beauty um, of everything in the McCall area and just in that part of the state. So definitely still heavily inspired. It's like a place in my mind that I go sometimes and pull stuff out for lyrics. Um, so definitely still very still uh, a big part of music for me and inspiration and stuff. So it's somehow translated into musical inspiration. Just the beauty of the area.
So you studied jazz and classical at U of I and
Yeah.
Berkeley,
Mm.
uh, but also like rocked house parties during all that as well, sure. And so how did that mix make music? How, how does that make your music now? How does that, I mean, it's like such different things, right? I mean, from the
Oh,
classical, the jazz, kind of what you're playing and what you have played in the past, so how does that mix make you the musician that you are?
man, it's all of it really still plays a part and has played a part in the stuff that I play now and how I play it. Like the classical thing was like really gnarly, uh, you know, kind of like almost like military training for music in a way where they break you down to like something real tiny and you have to like really work on, and then they slowly build you up. They work on like technique. Obviously the music is way different, so it like, and I have to like, you have to be really well behaved and be able to pull off these classical pieces and it really and clean about it, so it really helped me. And then to segue to like the house party experience and like the bar experience and all that stuff, playing in those party environments and places where people are kicking back, it's easy to kind of get lost and lose track of where you are on the instrument. But the the business mentality of classical music kind of helps me keep like a little bit of a head on my shoulders in some of those moments. And but the technique from classical guitar, I heavily use in my own way with like non-classical music. You know, I'm trying to keep like a melody and a bass line going at the same time, or like some simple chords and pull a melody over the top of it, kind of like classical guitar does. So I try and take a lot of just the mindset and the approach of classical guitar, but kind of use it for my own contemporary things, you know. So heavily with that, and then the jazz stuff has always influenced me and intrigued me and stoked me out. And I don't ever, I never got to, I don't play a ton of straight ahead jazz, real traditional stuff, but it's always influenced me and it always sneaks its way into my songs and little moments and things like that, and vocal melodies and stylings. And so I definitely love jazz. And lately it's been digging back into like the folky roots, a little bit of bluegrassy stuff. So that's kind of become like along with like the funky reggae bluesy stuff, you know, that's kind of become like 50-50% of what I play. I have this folky bluegrass sort of element that I'm adding to the mix a little bit more than the past, you know. So I'm actually really excited about that, playing on that stuff. So I'll be bringing that
So, and
to
you've
Crusty.
played in bands like Massive Delicious and Thug. How's that different from going solo?
Oh man,
Especially when you're, making one guitar sound like a whole band, with
you know, like it's very different, but it's similar in a lot of ways. Like I still try and hear the band with me in my head, kind of, and it kind of helps you stay on track, you know, when you're just by yourself. But there's a couple tunes that are more difficult to pull off and represent as a solo artist, you know. So there's a couple tunes that I don't play as much just because it's hard to represent, you know, the fullness of the tune with one person, you know. But yeah, I still try and pretend when I'm trying to fill out the music as much as I can just with myself. I try and pretend and hear in my head that the band is playing, you know. So that kind of helps me trick me into maybe playing a couple parts like unknowingly that might be a bass line, or like stomping on my little stomp pad for some like
sure.
basic rhythm, you know. But yeah, you have to flip a switch and get in different modes, you know. Like full band mode, electric guitar mode is different than acoustic guitar mode. You got to flip that switch too. It's just a couple switches that you have on hand that you can kind of switch and try and do your best at getting used to transitioning into each one as quickly as you can. But yeah, a few different hats, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, so here in McCall, what's your go-to guilty pleasure, like food place that you like to go, like when you're hiding out in McCall or the coast? And have you ever like shared that with a fan after a show, like gone and sat down and at your place, that maybe you don't always take people?
Well, I mean, Krusty's Pizza is like,
Right?
not to just like make a shameless plug, but
Oh, we'll take it.
that's kind of like the
Yeah, we'll
spot.
take it.
That's kind of like the most talked about spot, to be honest. Like when I talk about, you know, places that I like to chill and eat in McCall, you know. But yeah, yeah, actually, it's got to be Krusty's, man. That's got to
Love
be
it.
the most.
Love
I
it.
mean, like, yeah, yeah. Thinking about it,
Iconic.
yeah,
It's iconic.
that's the spot.
So let's jump into rapid fire here. These are coming from some fans and some from some employees as well, So just first thing that comes off your hat here. So might not always be the exact answer, but anyway. So Clapton or Hendrix?
Oh, Clapton or Hendrix? Oh, oh man,
Just quick.
I've got to say. I probably got to say Hendrix, but
Okay,
yeah, I
all
got to
right.
say
Okay,
Hendrix.
all right, all right. At Krusty's Pizza, do you go for the smoke jumper or would you go for the little Krusty?
Oh, Smoke Jumper. That's my all-time favorite for sure.
When cooking with jalapenos, do you keep the seeds or no seeds?
Oh, I keep those seeds. I keep those seeds for that extra heat.
If Jesus came back tomorrow, what would his intro song be to the stadium?
Wait, what was that? What was that? I didn't hear that.
If Jesus came back tomorrow, what would his intro song be to when he walked into the stadium?
Oh, it would be what is it? Is it that Turn Around Bright Eyes song? Turn around.
It's okay, awesome.
Turn
Okay,
around.
yeah, yeah, that's
I don't
it.
know. That's
That's
that's just what
yeah,
popped into my head
okay,
right now. I
that's
don't know.
great. All right, so this is big. This is going deep. So, true or false on your newest Massive Delicious album, Beneath the Dirt, you have a track titled song called "Ya,"
Yeah.
featuring some pretty interesting bird calls and sounds. Is it true you and Andre recorded those bird calls over a course of 6 months across four different continents?
So the real scoop. So and it's funny. I just got back from a trip to Sacramento, playing a couple shows with him and the full band down there. And we pulled it off live. So what we did is we were in separate rooms in the studio, looking at each other through the window, and he had a bunch of real bird calls, like hunting calls and like just bird
Okay.
calls. There's
Yeah.
like, that antique porcelain one that you blow through and put the water in, and
Uh-huh. Yeah.
we
Yeah.
had one
Yeah.
of those. We
Bubbles.
have like a
Yeah.
twisty
Yeah.
one that makes a little Tweety bird. We had like crows, ducks, and we were making some with our mouths, and we did it first take, at the same time in the studio live together, and we just like it's Andre's song. Andre, my partner in Massive Delicious, he wrote the song, and it was his idea to kind of create like this outdoor sort of vibe with it in that part.
Yeah.
And so we did all these bird calls. We didn't know if it would sound good, if we are going to keep it, but we listened to it back and it was like, oh, these are perfect. They sound so good in there. So like when we played it live this weekend, we had all our bird calls like next to us on stage. And we extended that section even longer, doing like extra bird calls, kind of in like a dub reggae moment. But
Yeah.
yeah, we did
Yeah.
those live. The crow was like my voice, and I was doing the cheeseburger bird. But yeah, those those
Oh, that's
those really
awesome.
like put a smile on our face, man.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. All right. So, bonus question here.
Yep.
Uh, Back in high school, you had Ebb Tide. What happened to those guys? Any chance you'd reunite for Krusty's gig, or is that just a pipe dream in McCall's summer heat?
Hey, I've talked to everyone in Ebb Tide, and a couple of them are still local. Definitely Scott Faraday.
Yeah,
We all know Scott Faraday. He's
yeah,
he's definitely, you know he was singing half those tunes himself. Tyler
yeah,
Strite,
yeah.
local. I think he's still around. He's got to be. Uh, and then Josh Griffith, he's the one who lives in Washington these days. Um, hey, the only thing I couldn't do is we used to scream in that band, and I used to be the screamer and used to sing. I just can't do
So
that to my
tell
voice.
people a little bit about what it was, right? What kind of band
Like,
was it?
yeah, and it was such a good time. Like, we were teenagers, we were like getting our angst out, and uh,
Yeah,
it was great. It was my first experience writing music for a band, you
yeah.
know, and
Screamo
doing
band.
that. So, but it was a lot of fun, man, and I'd be down if someone else did the screaming.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just I
Well,
couldn't tear my vocal cords apart like that right now.
sure is.
But I'd be
Um,
super open to that, man.
that's great. That's great. Yeah, I got a little insight into that. That's awesome, man. Um, so yeah, once again, yeah, we got you this Friday. And from 6 to 9, why don't you give us a little bit of plug with your albums and what you've got working on and what you got going recently and some things that you have going, man. And
Yeah,
yeah, that'd be great.
the album is the biggest thing. The Massive Delicious album, Beneath the Dirt. It's been 3 years in the making, and it's been a long distance thing since Andre lives in Sacramento. I live on the Oregon coast in Lincoln City. But we have a few really good amazing guest musicians on there. And we will have physical copies coming soon, but you can listen to it anywhere online. It's distributed online digitally. I'll be bringing up some fun merch too. I got some like really nice prints made of the album cover art on like hardstock 12 by 12 sheets, and then I have some
Awesome.
like those vacuum sealed metal can koozies, kind of like
Yep.
that
Yep.
keep your drink cold. We have some of those with our album art on it, and the album art
Sweet.
itself is a piece of art, man. The guy did it by hand with like a needle burning set, like pyrography, I guess you'd call it. So he did a 13 by 13 piece of raw maple by hand, needlepoint, with no color added or any digital touch up afterwards. So it's someday I'll see the piece of wood. but uh
Yeah.
but yeah, I got some shirts too, some stickers and stuff like that. And so I got some things if people want to take some Massive Delicious merch stuff home with them at the Crusty show. But
Awesome, man.
aside from
Well,
that, we're now that the album's done, we're going to be focusing more on doing some more playing and playing out in places more, like coming up to McCall and bringing the full band or at least the duo up to Crusty someday, uh,
that'd be
and
awesome.
promoting the album that way too. So we did all that work in the studio. Now we can go play around a little bit. So I'm looking forward to planning that.
Well, we always love having you in, man, um, and I'm glad that we could find a spot for you while you're here. And really
Oh man,
looking forward to seeing you this week and looking forward to hearing the
likewise.
tunes, man. Yeah.
Likewise, man. Thank you so much for working me in, man. It's I always love coming up and playing at Krusty so much and seeing you guys.
All
So,
right. Well,
yeah.
safe travels. We'll see you here soon.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you,
All
man.
right.
All
Yeah,
right.
bro. Appreciate it.
Looking forward to
Later.
it. Have a good
Bye.
day, man.